For the longest time, I believed my problem was time. Every morning I'd wake up thinking, if I just had a few more hours, everything would finally fall into place. More hours to work on my projects. More hours to catch up. More hours to fix my life. Turns out, that wasn't the problem at all. Here's the uncomfortable truth I had to face. I didn't lack time. I was wasting it. And the moment I truly understood that changed the way I work, think, and live. In this video, I'm going to share the exact mindset shift that took me from constantly saying, I don't have time, to getting more done than I ever thought possible. Fair warning, it sounds almost too obvious. You might even roll your eyes at first. But stay with me, because the way I discovered it was honestly kind of embarrassing. One day I was venting to a friend about how overwhelmed I felt. I'm buried, man, I said. I'm busy all the time. I need 30-hour days just to survive. He didn't argue. He didn't motivate me. He just looked at me and asked one simple question. How many hours did you spend on your phone yesterday? I laughed it off. I don't know, maybe an hour, 2, max. Without saying a word, he unlocked his phone, opened the Screen Time app, and handed it to me. Check yours. I opened my phone, and that's when everything clicked. 5 hours. That's how much time I spent on my phone the day before. 5 hours scrolling, watching random videos, reading things I couldn't remember 10 minutes later, playing games I didn't even enjoy. I just sat there, staring at that number, feeling exposed. Because suddenly it was obvious. I wasn't short on time. I was stealing it from myself. And then blaming life for it. That was the moment everything clicked. I didn't have a time problem. I had a priority problem pretending to be a time problem. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You have the exact same 24 hours as every successful person you admire. They don't get extra hours. They don't unlock some secret 25th hour. They just spend their time differently. And it's not because they're superhuman, more disciplined, or endlessly motivated. It's because they see time differently. Most of us talk about time like it's something that happens to us. I don't have time. As if time were the weather, completely out of our control. That mindset is the trap. The reality is this. Time isn't something you have. It's something you create. You don't find time. You don't magically get time. You make time by deciding what doesn't deserve it. After that conversation with my friend, I ran an experiment. For 1 full week, I tracked everything I did, every activity. No exceptions. Working, eating, scrolling, watching TV, talking, doing nothing. Even lying there wondering why my life felt so disorganized. At the end of the week, I looked at the list. And it was painful. I had spent hours on things that didn't matter at all. Things I wouldn't remember a week later. Every morning alone, I wasted over an hour just lying in bed, scrolling my phone. Not learning, not resting, just existing. That's 7 hours a week. Almost an entire workday. Gone. I also noticed hours spent watching shows I didn't even like. Conversations that went nowhere. Endless social media refreshes. Like something life-changing was about to appear if I checked one more time. But here's the part that surprised me the most. I found huge blocks of time where I claimed I was too busy, when in reality, I was just procrastinating in disguise. Let me check my email first. I should organize my desk. I'll plan a little more before I start. All of it was just avoidance with better branding. So I made one simple decision. I started treating my time the same way I treat money. Because think about it, if someone asked to borrow your money, you wouldn't say yes automatically. You'd pause, you'd ask what it's for, you'd decide if it was worth it, and that's exactly how time should be treated. You'd stop and decide if it was worth it. But with time, we do the opposite. We give it away without thinking. A TV show that's just okay? Sure, take a few hours. A social media app literally engineered to keep you hooked? Here, take my entire evening. Someone asks for just 5 minutes? Suddenly it's half an hour gone. No hesitation, no filter. That's when I realized the shift I needed to make. Every request for your time should be treated like a request for your money. Ask yourself, would I pay for this? Would I pay to scroll for an hour? Would I pay to watch a show I'm not even enjoying? Would I pay to stay? So why was I paying with my time something far more valuable than money? From that point on, I started asking one brutal question before everything. Is this worth my life? Because that's what time really is. When you spend an hour on something, you're not spending time. You're spending a piece of your life you will never get back. Is scrolling worth an hour of my life? Is this mediocre show worth 3 hours of my existence? Is saying yes to something I don't even want worth my entire evening? That question hits hard. And that's the point. Most of what we do every day isn't worth our lives. We do it because it's easy, or because it helps us avoid something uncomfortable. But the moment you start asking that question, everything shifts. You stop wasting time casually. You start guarding it intentionally. Because your time isn't just valuable. It's the most valuable thing you own. So now I had the mindset. But mindset alone isn't enough. I needed a way to apply it. Here's what I did next. I wrote down everything that genuinely mattered to me. My real goals, the projects I'd regret never starting, the relationships I didn't want to neglect, the experiences I actually wanted to have. And that list changed how I spent every single day. After making that list, I looked at my calendar and asked a simple question. Where is any of this actually scheduled? The answer was uncomfortable. Nowhere. My days were packed with random commitments, distractions, and things I had agreed to without thinking. The things that truly mattered were left for when I had time. Which, in reality, meant never. Because time doesn't just appear, you have to claim it. So I changed the order completely. I stopped trying to squeeze my goals into leftover time. Instead, I blocked time for what mattered first, and treated it like a non-negotiable meeting. Everything else had to fit around that. If it didn't happen. Some people thought it was extreme. You actually schedule time to work on your goals? Isn't that too rigid? What's really extreme is hoping life will slow down while you keep saying yes to everyone else's priorities. Within a month, the results were undeniable. I completed a project I'd been dragging out for months. I started exercising consistently. I finally learned a skill I'd been saying I'd get to someday. And somehow I had more free time than before. Not because I worked harder, not because I was busier, but because I stopped wasting time on things that didn't matter. I cut back on social media. I stopped watching shows just because they were on. I said no to commitments that didn't align with what I actually wanted. And suddenly, time showed up. Not because I gained more hours, but because I stopped giving them away. So here's my challenge to you. For the next week, track your time. Just 1 week. Be honest. Write down how you actually spend your hours. Then ask yourself one hard question. Is this how I want to spend my life? Because that's what time really is. Your life. Every hour is a piece of it you're trading for whatever you're doing in that moment. Once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it. Your choices start to change. You start protecting your time. And instead of letting life happen to you, you begin shaping it intentionally. You don't need more time. You already have enough. You just need to stop giving it to things that don't deserve it.